Welcome, everyone. I'm happy to be with you. This evening, we're just going to do about 30 minutes of a nice meditative stretch, a lot of yoga moves. Please feel free to modify these moves as you feel comfortable doing them. If there's something that you don't feel comfortable getting into, I'll offer suggestions, but also feel free to do any kind of movement that feels nice for your body. We'll hold these poses for a certain amount of time and consider really breathing through these stretches and these positions. With breath, you elongate muscles, you release stress and tension, and hopefully you will find that you're feeling a little bit more at peace. So we're just going to take about 30 minutes to go through some of these different stretches and positions, and I hope that you enjoy it. If you'd like to, you could turn on your own music if you'd like to have in the background for yourself. And then we will just start on in a seated position. I'm just going to move back here a little bit. So sitting up nice and tall, pull your shoulders back, straighten out your spine, lift your chin up, and take a nice deep breath in. Bring your arms overhead and lift your gaze up high. And exhale as you bring your chin down to your chest. Inhale again as you lift your arms up, gaze goes up to the ceiling. And lower back down, chin dropping down to your chest. Again, inhale as you bring your arms overhead, reaching up nice and tall, lower the shoulders down and lift up through the fingertips. Exhale as you bring your arms down, lower your chin to your chest. Take a nice deep breath and bring your left arm over the ear, reaching out to the side wall, turning your gaze up to the ceiling, and lower your chin down to the floor. Inhale as you lift up, and let's take that stretch to the other side, reaching out through the arm, turning your gaze up to the ceiling, and lowering down to the floor. Good. Lifting up with both hands up to the ceiling, reaching up nice and tall, shoulders stay low. Exhale as you open your chest to the ceiling, bringing your shoulders together and back. Lifting up nice and tall through the arms. And then let's hollow out that chest by bringing your elbows into the chest, making a C through your back. And inhale as you lift up through the arms. And exhale the arms down to the side. Take your right arm and bring it to the outside of your left leg. The left arm goes back and use those arms as guides to push yourself a little bit further to the back. Inhale as you bring your arms out to the side, and let's just swap sides. So the left hand goes to the right leg. Turn your gaze behind you as you get into that spinal twist. Bring the arms back together. And again, inhale as you lift up. And exhale as you bring your arms down. We're going to make our way to a standing position. So curl the toes under, straighten out the legs, and lift all the way up to a stand. I forgot to start my timer here. Take a nice deep breath in. Bring your arms overhead. Exhale as you tilt at the hips. Lower your chest over your thighs. Just let yourself dangle here. The chin drops to the chest. Shoulder blades are apart. Bend your knees and roll it up to a stand. Inhaling as you lift the arms overhead. Exhaling again as you tilt at the hips, lead with the chest and lower down. Use your breath. Exhaling as you release the chest closer to the thighs. And bend the knees and slowly roll up. Again, inhaling as you lift up the arms. Exhaling as you tilt at the hips, bringing the shoulder blades together and then apart as you lower down. Bend the knees and slowly roll up one last time. Inhaling as you bring your arms overhead, reaching up tall. Exhale as you tilt your upper back, lifting the chest up to the ceiling in a small back bend. And then straighten out the spine so you're in a nice upright standing position. And then bend the knees so that your hips are coming back. You're reaching forward through the torso and the arms are right next to the ears. Tilt forward so that the chest comes down to the thighs. Bend the knees and slowly roll it up again. Inhaling as you lift. Exhale again, tilt forward and lower down into your forward fold. Take your hands right next to your feet and take your right leg and bring it back into a lunge. So here your knee is right over your ankle. Take a deep breath, close your eyes, and extend through the leg. Bend that back leg, and with small little steps or one big step, bring your feet together. Bend the knees and roll it up to a stand. Inhaling as you lift the arms. Exhale again as you tilt at the hips, lower down, chest coming to the thighs, hands down next to the feet, and left leg is going back into your lunge. The knee is right over the ankle. Take a deep breath in. And exhale as you extend further through that hip flexor, releasing the tension. With several small steps or one big step, bend that back leg and bring the feet together, lifting it back up to a stand. And exhale as you tilted the hips. Right leg is going back in lunge. And left leg is going back to meet it. Lift the hips up nice and high into a downward dog. Press the hips back over the heels. And then slide forward into a plank. And if you need to, you can drop your knees to modify. Or straight legs for a full plank. And then bend the elbows, lower straight down to the floor. Pull the shoulders back and lift up into your cobra. Here is your modified, nice and low. Or your full, extending the arms. And then curl the toes under and lift the hips high into your downward dog. Bend the knees and the right foot comes forward to your lunge. The left leg comes up to meet it. Bend the knees and roll up to a stand. Exhale, bringing the chest down to the thighs. Left leg is going back into lunge. And right leg meets it in the back in your downward dog. Now let's slide that body forward to a nice straight line from shoulders to heels, or drop the knees to modify. And bend the elbows and lower all the way down to the floor. Roll the shoulders around and stop in your modified, or lift to your full cobra. Gaze goes high. Curl the toes under and lift the hips nice and high into your inverted V. Bend the knees and the left leg comes forward into your lunge and the right leg comes up to meet it. Bend the knees and come up to a stand. And exhale the arms down to the side. Good, let's just take a nice deep breath in. Bring the hands centered to your chest. Good. Bend down into the knees, into a nice deep squat. And then let's take that left elbow and turn it to the right knee. Use the elbow to press down into the knee and open up the chest to the side wall. The hands trying to come right into the center line of the body. And let's come center and stand up, lifting the arms nice and high. And then let's exhale back down, keeping the chest open and taking the right elbow to the left leg and opening the chest to the side wall. Coming back center. Inhale as you lift up. Exhale as you tilted the hips, bringing the hands down next to the feet. Take that right leg back into your lunge and left leg back to your downward dog or your inverted V. Bend both knees and take your right leg forward into your lunge here. So the knee is right over the ankle. And turn that back foot to about a 45-degree angle. And let's rotate those arms all the way up into your warrior two. Now here, just close your eyes. Take a moment to breathe into this position. Maybe you can sink down a little bit lower with your hips and your ribs and your shoulders and the top of your head all stacked up in a straight line. Reach out long from side to side with the arms. Reach out further through that front arm. Drop that front arm to your leg and bring the back arm up over the side of the ear and reaching to the wall in front of you. And then inhale, let's swivel those arms up to the ceiling, reaching up to the ceiling. Feel that extension through the side. And then exhale back to warrior two. Good, let's take that back arm, swivel it around as you turn your foot, lifting up into your lunge. Sink down further, extending through the hip flexor, lift up through the chest, reach up through the arm. And then bring the arms around together, hands right next to the foot. With one big step or several small steps, bring your foot forward into your forward fold. Chest dangles over the thighs. And then bend the knees and roll it up to a stand. Inhale as you lift. Exhale as you tilt at the hips. Lower the chest down to the thighs. Let's take that right leg back into your lunge. Turning that back foot into that 45-degree angle. And now let's rotate the arms up into your warrior two. Sink low into that lunge. Reach out side to side with the arms. Stacking the hips, the ribs, and the shoulder in a nice straight line. Deep breath as you sink further into your lunge. And then reach further forward with the torso and the arm. Bend that front arm, bring it to your leg, and the back arm comes over the top of the head. Let's reverse the arms as you lift that front arm up to the ceiling. Gaze comes high. Back to your warrior two. Maybe you could sink further into that lunge. And then let's take this back arm, swivel the foot around as you lift up into your crescent lunge. Nice straight leg. Gaze goes high. And then lower the hands down to the foot on either side of the foot. And then the front foot comes to the back foot into your downward dog. Walk the heels. Good. Drop the knees nice and wide to the sides of your mat. Uncurl your toes and bring your heels, your hips back to your heels. Stretch out long through the arms. And let your forehead rest on the floor. Roll it back up to a seated position. Keeping the legs wide or closing them together. Take a nice deep breath in, reaching up nice and tall. Leaning back into that back bend. Straightening it up through the torso. Making a C with the torso as you bring your elbows into your chest. Inhale as you lift, bringing the arms all the way around, bringing them in front of you. Curl the toes under, lift up into your downward dog. Bend both knees, take that right side lunge. So the right leg is coming up to the hands. The toes are pointing to the corners. The heels are in towards the hand and lower down into the hips. Now you can modify this by placing the knee down as well, or keep it lifted. Head is in line with the spine. Close the eyes, take a deep breath in. As you exhale out, lower further through the hips. We're going to take this front leg and take it nice and high up to the ceiling behind you. So lift the hips up high to the ceiling, drag that leg up and back all the way to the ceiling. Press the arms way out long, extend that leg, and then lower to your plank, bringing the knee into your chest, and lift it back up to the ceiling in that three-legged dog. Let's lower again to your plank with your knee to the chest and bring it back up into that three-legged dog. One more time. Lower. Bring the knee into the chest. And last time, three-legged dog here, lifting that leg all the way up to the ceiling. And lowering down, both feet together. Press the hips back, drop the knees wide, uncurl the toes, and the hips come back to the heels. Coming back up onto hands and knees, curl the toes under. We're going to do that same thing on the other side. So lift the hips up high, press long through the torso, bend the knees, and the left leg comes all the way up to the hand. Toes out to the corner. You can always bend that back leg for a little modification here. Make it a little bit easier. Drop down into the hips. Take a deep breath. Exhale as you extend further, dropping those hips open. With your next exhale, bring this front leg up into the ceiling. Here we go. Inhale and exhale as you bring it back and lift up to the ceiling. Come forward into your plank as you bring your knee into your chest. And then lift it back up to the ceiling. Nice straight leg, parallel hips. And forward again to your plank with your knee into your chest. And then back up last time, all the way up to the ceiling. And bring the knee into the chest. Coming back into that downward dog, walking the heels. Press both heels down. And then walk the feet up to the hands. Bending your knees and roll it up to a stand. Inhale as you bring your arms overhead. And exhaling the hands down to your heart center. Let's take a nice deep breath again. Inhale as you lift. And lower to your heart center. Let's take one more nice deep cleansing breath. Inhale as you lift. And bring your hands down to your heart center. Good. Open your arms wide. And let's take that right arm forward, left arm back. Gaze goes to the back. Keep both hips forward so that your hips are not turning with you and your torso is taking that twist. Come center and let's take it to the other side. Again, the hips don't turn, only the torso is turning. And come center. Increase the space between your feet. Lift the arms up a little bit higher to the ceiling. Exhale as you tilt at the hips. The arms reach wide, and you're going to stop when your chest is parallel to the floor. Reach nice and long through those arms, straight spine. Tip the tailbone up to the ceiling. And then bring the arms right next to the ears. Feel the weight descend into the heels. The toes are able to lift up off of the floor. And then lower the chest down over the legs. Bend the knees and slowly roll to a stand, shoulder blades apart, lifting up through the arms to that stand. And let's try that again. Tilting at the waist. Parallel chest to the floor. Reach out long through the arms, growing the space from fingertip to fingertip. And then bring the arms right next to the ears. Let the weight descend into the heels. And then lower down, chest to the thighs. Place your left hand down on the mat, and the right arm is going to open the chest to the side wall. Lifting that hand up to the ceiling, gaze going high, and then lower. And let's leave that left arm down as the right arm opens the torso to the side wall, gaze going high. And release the arm. Bring both arms up and around behind the back, clasp the fingers, lift the palms up to the ceiling, and the hands come further back over the head. Release the arms, gather them together in front like you're giving yourself a hug, and pull the shoulder blades apart. Release the arms, bend the knees, and roll it up to a stand. Inhaling as you bring your feet parallel and shoulder width apart. And bring the hands down to the sides. Good. Deep breath in. Exhale, sweeping the hands down into your forward fold. That right foot is going to come forward, and the left leg is a little further back. So your feet are lined up and your legs are making a triangle with the floor. Take a deep breath in and exhale as release the chest closer to the thigh. Release. We're going to walk our hands a little bit further forward. Take the weight in the front leg and lift the back leg, keeping the hips parallel. The leg is parallel to the floor. And now we're going to turn the hips so that they're open north and south. Open the hips side to side, and you feel a further extension through the standing leg. Good, and if you'd like to, you could take a balance of opening up the arm and chest to the side as well. And then maybe you want to lift that leg a little bit higher. And lower the arm, return the hip to parallel. Bend the standing leg, come back to the floor. Turn the torso forward, walking the feet forward, bend the knees, and roll it up to a stand. Inhale as you lift the arms overhead. Exhale as you tilt at the hips. Lower the chest down. We're going to take that over to the other side. So walking towards your left foot, you're swiveling around. Left foot forward, right leg back. Take a deep breath in. Exhale as you lower your chest to your thigh. Bend that front leg and walk your hands further forward, lifting the right leg, keeping the hips parallel. And now let's open the hips north and south, opening the chest to the side, and you can stay here. Or you can take the balance as lifting the arm and opening the chest, and then lifting that leg higher. Return the arm, return the hips to parallel. Bend the standing leg, lower that leg, walk to the center. Bend the knees and roll it up to a stand. Inhale as you lift, bringing the feet parallel. Lower the chest to the thighs. Bend the knees and drop the hips. Reach out long through the arms in your chair position. So your hips are back. Good. Lower down into that forward fold. Walk the feet a little bit wider apart, turning the toes to the corners and the heels in. Lower the hips as you bend the knees and lift the chest. Coming down into your squat, and then lift the hips and lower the chest to the thighs. And let's do that again. Lift the chest, lower the hips, and bend the knees. And taking that back up to your forward fold. One more time. Drop through the hips, bending the knees. And wherever you are, you can feel comfortable in this position. And maybe you can take those elbows and press the legs out to the side, lifting that chest. Good. And we're going to come into a seated position. So you can do that however you like, or take one arm and wrap it around, and the other, bring it around, lower yourself down into a seated position, and bring your legs forward. Reach out over the tops of the legs, and then lower down one vertebrae at a time. Bringing the legs straight out and the arms overhead, reaching out from fingertips to toes. Gathering your arms around that right knee, bring the knee into the chest. And straighten out that right leg, flex the foot and bring it closer to the chest. Bring the knee back into the chest. Open that leg out to the side in a bent knee position. You can place that left hand out to the side for a little counterbalance. And then bring that right leg center and let it rotate over to the left side. And now extend that right arm and turn the gaze to the right arm. And come onto your back. Extend that right leg down. The left knee comes up to the chest. And extend the left leg up. Flex the foot and bring it closer into the chest. Bend that left knee, bring it closer into the chest, and then let that bent leg open out to the side, opening up that right arm to counterbalance. And then let that leg come back up to the center line of the body and cross over to the other side, extending the left leg long, or the left arm long. Rolling onto your back, gathering up both knees to the chest, wrap your arms around the legs, lift your head, neck, and chest up, take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, press the legs out against the arms. Feel the extension through the upper back. And then lower down, release. Let the knees fall to the right, gaze and arm to the left. And then come onto your back and let's switch sides. The legs traveling to the left and the gaze and the arm to the right. Coming onto your back, extending the right leg down, lifting the left leg up to the ceiling, taking a big leg circle by dropping the leg down to the side, meet the foot down at the bottom, and straight leg back up to the ceiling, opening out to the side, lowering down, and lifting back up. Good. And again, take it out to the side, to the foot, and lift. And last one, rotating it out, lifting it back up. Bring the knee into the chest. Lower that leg as you lift the other. So the right leg is up and high. Lower it down to the side. Bring it down to the foot and back up to the ceiling. Good. Taking these at your own pace. Using the inhalation and exhalation to open up and lengthen the muscle. Last time, bring both knees into the chest. Cross the ankles and roll up into a seated position. Uncross the ankles, bring the hands behind the hips. Lift the chest up to the ceiling, pulling the shoulder blades together, gaze goes high. Lifting up with a straight spine as the arms come overhead. Tuck the elbows in at the waist and curl the spine, making a C with the spine here. Lifting up to a straight spine. Take the
Kristen, I think you're frozen.
And then coming to the center. Good. Take a nice deep breath in. Exhale as you lower yourself all the way down. And find a nice comfortable spot, whether that's a full extension of the body with the arms placed to the sides of the hips, palms facing up, or maybe you place them on the belly. You can also bring the knees up by bending the legs, or maybe a butterfly position, or anything that feels comfortable for you. And maybe you'd like to place something over your eyes or your chest or your feet. Close your eyes, take a nice deep breath in. And exhale, releasing all of the air from your lungs. Another deep breath in. As you exhale, release the tension in your toes, in your feet. Release the tension in your calves, the knees, the thighs, the glutes. With your exhalation, release all of the air from your lungs. Feel relaxation in your upper chest and your shoulders. Breathe out any tension and stress holding in your arms, your hands, and your fingers. With your next exhalation, release tension in your neck, your facial muscles, your head. Release any thoughts you might have about what's next in your evening. Focus on the stretching and the lengthening of the muscles, the relaxation you feel throughout your torso, throughout your legs. And enjoy just a moment of peace. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Bring movement back into your limbs. Draw your knees up into your chest and rock side to side, massaging your spine. Then let your knees drop to the right side and make your way back up to a seated position. Take a nice deep breath in as you bring your arms overhead. Exhale as you release your chin down to your chest. And inhaling again as you bring your arms overhead, reaching up tall and lowering your hands to your heart center. Closing your eyes. And with your next exhalation, namaste. I hope everybody enjoyed a little bit of time to stretch and relax, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.